Hey Disney lovers, and welcome to Disney Movie Facts. This month we will be looking at Walt Disney Animation's The Little Mermaid and The Rescuers Down Under with some facts you may not have known. Each month we'll be looking at a different movie following our Disney podcast movie review. So make sure to click that subscribe button and the notification bell, but let's get to it. So we have now entered the Renaissance era of Disney animated movies, which is my personal favourite era. We've already spoken about The Little Mermaid and The Rescuers Down Under in our DCasts, so make sure to check them out for more obscure facts and opinions. But let's get into 5 facts about The Little Mermaid and 5 facts about The Rescuers Down Under. You may or may not know that The Little Mermaid may not have actually happened. Disney was working on another mermaid movie at the time, a live-action movie, when Ron Clements pitched The Little Mermaid to CEO Michael Eisenberg. They didn't originally go for it as they thought the 2 mermaid movies would have been too much, but when they realized that it was a fairy tale that hadn't been done, they soon turned the tide. Now this next fact people are saying isn't what we agree with. They say that Ursula technically isn't an octopus. Most fans would argue that she is in fact a mythical human-octopus hybrid, which I cannot pronounce, because she only has 6 tentacles. Well, duh. She also doesn't have a head of an octopus either. But saying that, if you call merfolk part fish, you can definitely call Ursula part octopus. Fish have a tail and 2 fins. Merfolk have a tail and 2 arms. Octopi have 8 tentacles, and Ursula has 6 tentacles and 2 arms. So yeah, she's part octopus. What's your opinion? Pop a comment down. On to the next fact, and a big round of applause please people, for the winner of 2 Academy Awards in 1990 was, you guessed it, The Little Mermaid. Alan Menken and Howard Ashman won awards for the music and score in The Little Mermaid, and who doesn't agree that they were well deserved? The Little Mermaid has your very typical Disney ending, doesn't it? But the original story by Hans Christian Andersen had a very different ending. Most was true, where the Little Mermaid saved a prince from drowning, dragged him to shore, and sold her voice to become a human to fall in love with him. But the prince falls in love with a girl from a temple who brought him back to consciousness the night of the shipwreck. He then thought she had saved him and not the Little Mermaid. The prince and this girl are set to marry, and they set sail for their wedding. The Little Mermaid was going to die because she couldn't marry the prince and sat on the ship silent, awaiting her fate, when her sisters swam up to the ship with their hair all cut off. They explained they sold their hair to the Sea Queen for a magical dagger. The Little Mermaid must plunge the dagger into the heart of the prince so that his blood touches her feet. This would then return her into a mermaid and can dive back into the sea. However, she cannot go through with it and throws the dagger into the sea and dives into the water. Her spirit floats up, and she is informed by other mermaid spirits that whilst they cannot gain a soul, they can have a chance to do so if they provide a useful service to the world by bringing cool breezes to the hot winds. Then after 300 years, they can create their own everlasting soul. Wow, what a pretty long fact, and also confusing. But let's get on to a less depressing fact now. Now, this last fact about Disney's Little Mermaid is to do all about Triton's daughters. There are 7 daughters, and Triton is the king of the seas. There are 7 seas, so each of the daughters represents one of the seas. Athena is the older sister, and the largest sea is the Bering Sea. Has black hair for the Black Sea. His personality is romantic, and this depicts the Mediterranean Sea. Is the Coral Sea, and her personality is shy, like she is hiding in the coral reef. Has white hair, and you guessed it, the White Sea. Has a carefree personality, so this depicts the Caribbean Sea. And finally, has red hair, just like the Red Sea. Mind blown? I bet it is. Sam also has a bit of a rude fact too about The Little Mermaid, so head over to the Little Mermaid Dcast to learn all about that. But let's move on to 5 facts about The Rescuers Down Under. And you may or may not have known, but this was Disney's first animated sequel film. You may think, that's a load of rubbish, there's loads of Disney sequels. And you'd be right, but this paved the way for the sequels. Rightfully or wrongfully, you decide. This sequel film also cost Walt Disney Animation Studios $37.9 million to make. Luckily, it also took $47.4 million in the box office, so it did alright compared to some other movies. The producers wanted to have all voice actors reprise their roles from the Rescuers in this movie, but unfortunately Jim Jordan, who voices Orville, died 2 years before. So instead of Orville, they created Wilbur, his brother, and this was voiced by John Candy. Now, the twisted version of Home on the Range that McLeish sings was not performed by McLeish's voice actor George C. Scott. It was actually sung by the voice actor for Joanna, the Monitor Lizard. And the voice actor for that was Frank Welker. Does that name ring a bell? Well, here's a hint.
How ironic! By leading us to this planet, the Autobots have sealed their own doom.
My mind is totally blown. Then the final fact of The Rescuers Down Under is that unlike the majority of Disney movies, there were no songs created specifically for this film. This was also only the second Disney animated movie not dubbed to be a musical, with The Black Cauldron being the first. But that is it for these little facts about The Little Mermaid and The Rescuers Down Under. Let us know in the comments if you have any more from these films. Don't forget to check out our Dcast for more facts and opinions on the movies. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button for much more Disney content. But until next time.